When I saw this scene that I had created myself, I knew I had a banger. This is going to be a great game. I'm excited for it. All right, we're back with devlog number 1. We're going to be going over some concept art, some planning out the player's sort of path, and just go over some of the assets we've been working on. I say we, but it's really just me. But I say we because you're in it with me if you're watching this video. Don't lie. All right, so what is like concept art? Everybody knows what concept art is, right? Like you draw the castle, then the castle's made in the game. Simple stuff like that. I am not, this is one of the advantage to a solo dev, and if you're a solo dev, you may recognize this, or if you didn't know this, think about it. One of the advantages to like solo dev and concept art is like the flow from concept to actual implementation is so much more flawless. When it comes to actually working in a team, there's a bit of like push and pull, and there sometimes can even be a bit of waiting. But and I think it's better shown than explained. So let me swap over my screens here. And this is not great concept art. It is horrible, right? It is bad. But again, this is the advantage of solo development. Basically, if you look at this, I understand it, but other people don't need to because it gets the job effectively done for me. So let's go ahead and run ourselves through essentially what I have now done. Look at these little X's. Like, what do the X's mean? Is that treasure? Is there gold there? No, there's no gold there. What is that? Is that, oh, what is that? Oh, it's purple and it vibrates. No. Let's just run you through it. So to me, I understand that this is the starting area, right? So player goes in here, they go into the goblin caves. Goblin caves are going to be here. This is going to sort of poop them out here at the upper forest. Players are then going to go into the village, get some exposition about how they cannot open this gate. This is sort of what I just settled on. They cannot open this gate. You need a seal to get into the city. The city's front gate has essentially been sealed. You need the seal from this guardhouse right here, but you can't get into this guardhouse because it is locked. And the only known key was a party of soldiers that were last known in going to the Deep Woods exit, which was another tunnel into the, essentially the valley. There was another tunnel into the valley. There's probably a few more tunnels into the valley, but they've all been closed, and they didn't know this one was closed. I guess you could say, spoiler alert, they didn't know this one was closed. So you have to now make your way through the lower forest right here, which is going to be kind of a neutral place, kind of a center place. I may put other stuff here. Like this is a lower, like kind of like mini swamp area. There could be chests here. There could be anything, right? Just use your imagination. So the player goes through here and they go through this lower forest and they enter the deep forest. So the deep forest is going to be a very heavily fogged area. And I'm essentially going to have the player, as soon as they go in, they're going to be met with a dead body hanging off of a tree. It is a guard, basically, hanging right here. And this guard has a key on him. You don't know what it's used for, but you will take it when you interact with the body, and you will say, well, this looks useful. I wonder what this could be. Now, you'll figure it out very quickly. I do kind of I like the allure of rewarding the player somewhat for just being inquisitive. So you find the body of the guard hanging. You know you need to come here to get the key. You could, I guess, go back and you could go all the way through here. Zoom in. Maybe explore a little bit. Maybe you find the shortcut back to the upper thing. You go up here, you notice the key just doesn't look right. It's not what you need. It's not right. I have considered having players be able to inspect objects and turn them like Resident Evil. I do think that's a really super cool mechanic, but it was a bit convoluted. Like being able to turn the key over and then pull it apart and you're like, oh, there was a key inside this book. I do like that mechanic. It's super cool. I don't think anybody dislikes it, but it's not really palatable to the most gamers, right? Like some people just be like, oh, what? The key was hidden inside the book and I was supposed to inspect the book and then like pull it up, interact with it and get the key out of it. How would I have known to inspect items in my inventory, right? Like once you know it, it's cool, but like afterwards, it could be really a point of sort of critical frustration for a player. Anyways, I'm ranting. So you get the key off the body. You're meant to just kind of fumble around in here. The enemies I kind of want to be in this forest in the deep woods are supposed to be like what could have once maybe been humans. Maybe they're not humans at all. Maybe they're like another creature like a kobold or something. Anyways, put them on screen. Put them on screen. These things are all from Souls-like games. I think they're very interesting creatures. They're very advantageous type creatures. They like to take they hide and wait for a good ambush. They're very quick. They kind of slide around. They're kind of annoying. I kind of want to have those creatures in this village. Like you're entering their town. So if you were to like look up into these big trees that are just going to be everywhere, you may like occasionally see like the outlines of what may be like little huts on top of the trees, you know, like kind of like little Ewoks up into the upper areas. Maybe I'll even have ability to go up there and sort of just like kind of look around and root around like a tiny little hut and just be like, oh, what the hell is all this stuff? You know, like why are there belongings of like people here? Like why are there like you know, because maybe they kill humans and like take their trinkets and they like shiny stuff or something. I've also realized I just drew a penis. But like, you're going to be navigating your way for a bit of like, this sort of foggy forest. And, I'm going to try to essentially leave all the key items along the edges like this, like right here. So if the player sticks to like running along the the right, edge, they'll run into this bridge. They could run along here. They'll run into this. They'll run into here. They'll run to a shortcut. They can knock down this essentially log, and then they could run along here and get this. And they'll, at this point, be like, oh, crap. They'll see this structure, and that's where they'll sort of put it together that they need 4 keys to essentially get through this gate. And so now they'll, at this point, hopefully, I made it in my opinion, I made it relatively easy. You would be able to find this key if you follow the wall. But, you know, who knows what players are going to do, right? They could just run straight into the fog area and start, like, essentially doing that. But I think by placing these bodies, like, very visually appealing, like, around the edges, it's not the craziest thing. Like, perhaps the armor of the creature, of the guardsmen are, like, bright red. You know, like, you have contrasty colors. Like, you can see, like, the metallic glint of their armor through the piercing fog, just stuff like that to kind of like just be like, hey, this is something you may want to interact with. I do want to have like item glint, right? Like stuff that's going to be interacting is going to have a bit like a bit of a glint to it, right? Like it's going to shine and you'll know like, hey, I should pick up that item that's blinking like that. It's like Resident Evil, Bloodborne style stuff. Like, you know, you're supposed to interact with this. After that, after you get all 4 gates, you're kind of piecing together the story. I'm probably going to leave like notes or like snippets, like by the bodies. Like you're meant to see that the guard came in here to sort of like get out or at least figure out a way out because everything was kind of going to shit. And they wanted to get out of this gate and they realized that there was no way out. And you're going to run into like the leader of the guard. This little squad, like a mini boss, nothing crazy. Like he's just going to be like a relatively like strong guardsman. Like maybe not even like, he's going to basically be them, which they're already dead, but like, I don't know, just like a relatively like more intelligent character to fight than these little Grimmlands. Bit of like an undead guy. So you're going to you fight him. You'll get his key, the guardhouse. Then that key, you should be able to at least figure out that you need to go back here. Go in here. You're going to rummage through a bunch of stuff. You're going to get a bunch of nice little goodies. Relatively, probably no combat in the guardhouse. Maybe 1 or 2 guards. You know, like a weaker version of the boss, or maybe even just like a version of the boss that you've already fought. So now they're kind of just common enemies, and you just you're used to fighting them, you know the pattern, it wasn't too hard. Um, just a relatively weak version of it. You're gonna get the seal, and you're gonna go back to the village. Which, interesting thing about this is the way when you set up areas like this, you kind of funnel players, right? You're funneling them. And so if I wanted to, when the player goes back here and he has the seal in his inventory, I can trigger cutscenes, right? Like I can trigger things because I know that the player has to go back through here. It doesn't matter if he enters here. It doesn't matter if he enters here. He is having to go through this section, and I could even have it here and whatnot. So like you wouldn't want to put a cutscene like here because maybe the player, well, I guess you could, because if you had to go here, you could put a cutscene here. Basically anywhere that, you know, a player would have to be funneled and they couldn't sequence break, right? They can't sequence break if you put it there. That being said, here, let me just delete everything. Just drawing all over the map. So they'll go through here. They will need to use the seal on the gate. And this is what I meant by, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but this is kind of like what I think would make like a good demo. Being able to go through all of these separate areas, experience like a bit of an RPG taste, but there's a blacksmith, you can upgrade your weapons, there's a bit of a story, this fogged area, a boss fight, and it all leads to you eventually using the seal on the gate, and boom, cue cutscene. You are now going into the Forgotten and Undead City. This is where the game starts to really play out, because this is where you start to get you essentially are going to be introduced to all the different districts. Maybe there's a character sitting on the other side of the gate with their legs crossed, very cliche, just be like welcoming you in, sort of like a Mad Hatter style character being like, welcome, you know. And the city may not be as defunct as you would initially assume. You think it's like this old dead place with literally nobody in it. There may still be people in this town, and that was my original intent, is that there are going to be people that were trapped in this town. They are in this town. They cannot leave. Not many, obviously, nothing near what it was in its glory days, but there are people here, and we're going to meet them as you journey your way through the kingdom, kind of unraveling its secrets and making your way to the treasure that you seek, because you are a treasure seeker. No spoilers. You're just a treasure hunter. That's all you are. There's not. Hey. Quit asking questions. You're a treasure hunter. But that's sort of what we have planned out so far. And we have these rocks made. We have this beautiful scene. You know, add some foliage in. I'm excited. But this is just a bit of my design philosophies and stuff I think about. And this looks gorgeous, even without the foliage added in. So like once you have like the rickety railings, like old wood railings, you got the foliage, you put some enemies in here, some more trees, like actual trees. This is gonna look super sick. Like it's definitely meant to be like a dark fantasy type game. Like when I saw this scene that I had created myself, I knew I had a banger. This is gonna be a great game. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping you guys are excited to see where the game goes, because I'm excited. I'm getting excited about my own game. The other thing about me as a designer is I get excited about my own game because I want to play it. I want to finish this game because I want to play my own game, you know? And it's almost like when you're a designer, you're almost like you have access to cheat codes, but the cheat codes aren't just like cheating. They're like, you know what? I want to have a northern DLC. So like there'd be like, after you beat the game, there's like a creepy old man in a freaking cart here, and he has like one eye and a lantern, and you get onto the cart, and he takes you off to like some DLC northern area or something, you know? Like I can just add whatever I want to the game, and I'm super excited to play it. I'm super excited to make it. I love dark fantasy games, and I don't know, I'm just ranting at this point. Get out of here. Stop watching my video. Go work on your game. Go work on your game. I believe in you. I know you can do it. You're amazing in every single way. Oh!